Now pay close attention. This isn't something you see every day.
Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about Marvel Legends series Black Widow, Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Now, it's actually Earth's Mightiest. Well, anyway, here she is. I guess this is supposed to be like the ultimate Black Widow, and she's cool looking, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong, she is cool looking for just standing on a shelf. But as far as articulation wise, I think Hasbro could have done a lot better. But before I get into that, she comes with a plethora of stuff and some alternate heads. Now, this figure originally was $27. I ended up going and picking her up at Target on clearance for $12.49. So if you can pick her up for this price, by all means go ahead and do so. It was a great pickup. So as far as the articulation wise, I mean, for picking her up for $12.49, I can't complain. I really can't, because the fact that if I would have paid $27, I've been really disappointed. But since I got the deal, I'm really not going to complain too much, because of the fact that I just don't know why they can't do better articulation when it comes to the female figures, but we'll get into that. So let's get started on taking a look at Natasha Romanoff here and look at her sculpt. And here she is. I mean, that is a beautiful, beautiful face sculpt right there. I like the hair. And she comes with these alternate heads, which, are very nice. I'm sorry, I'm just working on a new phone and this is not wanting to focus. All right, there we go. So yeah, look at that sculpt. I mean, I do like this face sculpt. All of her head sculpts are very, very nice, don't get me wrong. I like the way they did the suit with the zipper, the black. I like her Black Widow belt that she has, very comic booky-ish, which is cool. And then you come down to her stingers here on her wrists. I do think that her hands are kind of tiny when it comes to these. I figured these would be a little bit tighter on the wrist. But then again, in the comic book, maybe they were bigger. So, I'm not gonna fault him on that. Moving down, we have the thigh cuts here. We have double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, all pinless, which is nice. You have an upper torso on here, but no real ab crunch. And then moving down to the boots. So she's kind of like almost kind of like a black costume Spider-Man body, but female version. And don't get me wrong, it's cool that we get, the females in Marvel. It's just, it would be nice if we could actually get a little bit more articulation, because she's a badass, don't get me wrong. And she should be able to move and bend and do all sorts of crazy stuff, because that's what she does. I mean, she is one of the craziest assassins I've ever read about in a comic. But anyway, let's get into taking a look at these guys, yeah, excuse me, Black Widow's accessories, because she comes with a lot. So I'll try to go through them as fast as I possibly can. So now that we went over all of Black Widow's accessories, head sculpts, and everything that she comes with, and we took a look at the figure, and yes, I did put her in some posing, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, I have to say, paying $12.49 for this figure is well worth it than paying $27, and then with taxes close to $30. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm glad I was able to get her on clearance. At least at my Target, she was on clearance, so if you're able to get her, great, especially if you're looking for this figure. If you can catch her on clearance, by all means do so. She's not a bad figure, you can pose her, but I do have my pet peeves. I wish that they would give the females in this line a better ab crunch. I mean, we've seen it done with other figures. I don't understand why it can't be done with these figures, this line. I don't understand why you can't have the female figures in this line with a better ab crunch. I mean, look, Jada Toys, I'm going to bring them up, of course. You know, it's a different line, but they made Chun-Li. I'm going to bring her out here. And she's a female figure, right? Let me get the focus here. She has an ab crunch. She has an ab crunch where you can actually get her into some great poses. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's a better ab crunch than what Black Widow has. Now, granted, I understand that, you know, maybe Hasbro doesn't want women to have an ab crunch, but women do. Women are able to bend at the waist. I mean, let's be real. Of all in all, this is a 6-inch figure, and yes, it's a female figure. And yes, she can pose. And yes, she can also have an ab crunch. I mean, that is what I'm talking about right there. Just a better ab crunch than what we get with these figures here. And she twists, she moves. She actually has some articulation rocking side to side. That is what we need in this line. And that's all I'm saying about that. As far as the rest of the figure, the way she looks, the way Black Widow looks and everything, she's a cool figure. She really, really is. So if you're looking for this figure, hopefully you get this figure. And hopefully you don't overpay for this figure or pay the regular price for this figure. That's just my opinion. And I know I'm gonna get some people in the comments that are gonna go, oh yeah, but you can do this and you can do that. Yeah, well, once again, it's just my opinion. If you like this line, you like the way things are done, that's cool. That is your choice, your opinion. That's what we're here. We're talking about action figures. And yeah, that's it. So there's no reason for anybody to get angry. All right, so with all that being said, guys, let's do some comparisons with Black Widow. And here's how Jada Toys Chun-Li compares to Black Widow. And here's how Black Widow compares to the G.I. Joe Classified Red Ninjas. And here's how Black Widow compares to the G.I. Joe Classified Python Patrol Vipra. All right, so that's how she compares to other figures in different lines. Listen, I'm not sitting here complaining about this figure. I'm telling you, I like the figure. I really, really do. I just think for the price that you pay, right? So we're now paying, you know, close to $30, sometimes $40 for a figure, right? And we're still getting minimal articulation. Yes, we're getting some great pinless, double jointed elbows finally on the female figures, and we're getting some great pinless, double jointed knees, and you know, we have some thigh cuts, and I understand why they didn't do a boot cut. I get it. I'm not complaining about that. But an ab crunch would be great, especially with her, to get her into a deeper and more dynamic pose. That way you can actually get her to do some other things. I'm not saying that you can't pose her, because you can, and you can get her into some great, great poses. Don't get me wrong. I did a few of them myself and I was impressed. I'm telling you. But her head could move a little bit better. I understand the hair and whatever, whatnot, but still, if you're gonna give them long hair, you got to make something that's going to make it to where they can have a little bit more of a looking up or looking down and being able to move their head side to side, so you can get them into these dynamic poses along with a better ab crunch. Now, this is just my opinion. If they're able to do it in other, well, only Jada Toys is the one so far. I have to say that's doing a fabulous job. And I'm telling you, they are bringing the business to the table. And they're teaching a lesson to some of these older toy makers out there, or action figure companies. Listen, I'm not knocking Hasbro, and I'm not knocking anybody else. I'm just saying, could there be a little bit better things with this figure? Yes. Did we get it? No. Am I happy that I only paid $12.49 and the tax maybe $13 something for this figure? Absolutely. I have a good Black Widow now for my shelf to go, and she fits in perfect and anywhere I want to put her. Anywhere. Plus, I have 3 different alternate heads, man. One that looks like Mary Jane from Spider-Man, one that looks like Black Widow from the comic book, and the short-haired one, I'm probably going to take the head off of my CoverGirl and use the short-haired version for my CoverGirl. That's because that's what I want to do. The head sculpt on CoverGirl is just, doesn't tickle my fancy. This one actually looks really good. Anyway, listen, I don't want to get on a tangent, and I don't want to ramble on and on and on and on. From a 1 to 10, I give this figure a 6. Not because of sculpt, and not because of accessories, only because of the fact that it is missing a little bit more articulation when it comes to the head and when it comes to the ab crunch. Listen, there are some badass women out there, and I've trained with some badass women, and let me tell you something, they bend at the waist. They bend at the waist. Listen, the action figure should bend at the waist. That's all I'm saying. So Hasbro, if you're listening, which you're probably not, especially to me because I'm a smaller channel, look, just, if you could, just find a way to make the ab crunch better. Give her the upper torso like you already have, but give a better ab crunch and some waist movement on the figure. That's all I'm saying. If not, whatever, you guys keep on keeping on. You're putting out nice looking figures, you know, and whatever. This is just my opinion. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review on the Marvel Legends Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest Black Widow. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Now, I know it's probably already been out there and I'm late to the game, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to overpay to get an action figure just so I can be first in line. That'll never happen. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share, and as always, leave a comment down below. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you on the flippity flip.